I got a request to do a video on looking at patterns and themes in sheet music, specifically what you should be looking out for before you try to play a piece or excerpt for the first time. So the first thing you're going to do is look at the key signature and see what key we're in. In this case, because we don't have a key signature, we can say that we're in the key of C major. Now, some of you might say, oh, but no key signature can also mean A minor. Yes, but that's for a different video if you don't know how to figure out whether it's major or minor. But in this case, we are in the key of C major. So let's get started looking at some patterns in this specific piece. So the first thing that I want to point out is that the left hand has an Alberti bass pattern going on. We see this all throughout the first line here. Alberti bass just means that it's basically in a broken chord form, and you're going to play the lowest note, highest note, middle note, then the highest notes again. In this case, if we take a look at the notes in this chord here, we can see that the notes form a C major chord, and it's going C, G, E, G. So that is an Alberti bass pattern, and we do see that pattern throughout the entire first line, although the chords may not be all the same. Another thing that a lot of people might find helpful is just kind of going in and analyzing the chords themselves. So in this case, because we're in the key of C major, and that very first bar here also uses the C major chord, this is going to be our 1. We notice that it changes here, right? And if you also look at the B there, these notes together is going to be your G7. In this case, that's going to be your dominant 7th chord. It goes back to 1. If you want me to do another video on how to figure out these chord progressions, then let me know in the comments. Here we're going to have our 4 chord. You get the idea. So some people do find it helpful to analyze the chords in this manner as well. Now, moving on to the second line, if we take a look at the right hand part now, we can see that we're starting to get into these scale passages. And if you look at measures 5, 6, 7, and 8, what you'll notice is that it's basically sort of like the same melodic or scale pattern, but repeating starting from a different pitch in each bar here. This is called a sequence in music. Another thing that you can do before you try playing this piece, and this isn't really related to patterns so much, but you can also try to rehearse the rhythm of the piece before you try to play it, just so you kind of already have an idea of like how it goes before you sit down at your instrument and try to play through the piece for the first time.